How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggy With It. I'm Will, and today we're opening up this right here, Marvel Champions thing, Hero Pack, Star-Lord. We're opening up more Marvel Champions packs. If you've seen our other videos, of course, we did buy everything recently, so you're going to see a lot of these unboxings until we get everything done. We just want to go through the cards, look through the decks, see how they work. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and open up the Star-Lord, the infamous Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. So he is the third released character. The first two we will be opening, I do have over here, and will be in a separate video. So make sure you subscribe to watch that opening. It is the Galaxy's Most Wanted. And then, of course, we have Gamora as well. Future videos or future releases in the next 2 months will be Drax and Venom. And then there's rumors of Nebula, although I don't know how that's going to work because Nebula's already in the game about 4 times. She's a nemesis, she's a villain, and I think she's an ally? I don't know. I know she's in there at least as a villain and a nemesis. There you go. You get your poster of the Star-Lord. One guy I saw a post on Instagram. What he did with the posters was somehow he flattened them out pretty good because creases annoy me. It's one of the reasons I don't use the Pokemon paper mats. And we have a Keyforge we're going to open, the new Keyforge as well, and that has a paper mat. Is because that creasing. But that's what he did. He kind of set them all out in the play area, so he just kind of had a background of all of his Marvel Champions. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Peter Quill. So Peter Quill, recovery of 3. He is an outlaw. So this, I don't know if I've seen anything that specifically directs this. I do know that there is, in his deck specifically, things that talk about Guardian, which if your character or your ally is a Guardian, it does specific things. So there may be other cards that will relate to this. We're still new to it, so I don't know. If you guys know, comment down below with other decks that you've seen that make use of the identifiers, I guess we'll call them. So what does he do? You can search your deck for discard pile for a copy of Element Gun, upgrade, and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Okay, so that allows you to get your Element Gun out, which is one of your upgrades. Smooth Talker, choose a card from your hand, swap that card to the top card of your deck. Okay, so this is a setup. So you're going to do this at the beginning of the game. You get one of your guns at the beginning of the game, and then Smooth Talker you can do anytime you're on Peter Quill's side to basically swap the card with your top card of your deck. So if the card in your hand isn't any good, switch it out. Hand size of 6, which is normal for most of your alter egos, and hit points of 10, which again is average. That's normal. So Star-Lord, 2 thwart, 2 attack, only 1 defense. He doesn't have much defense. He is a Guardian, so Guardians of the Galaxy. Each ally you control gains Guardian. So again, a lot of his cards are going to react off of that Guardian capability. What could go wrong? It's weird. Okay, that's neat. They put it before instead of at the end. I don't know if that's again, I don't know if that's intentional. They're going to start doing that now, so that way you're kind of seeing the flavor text first. Yeah. Okay, so Smooth Talker is the name of that one. Okay, so it's the name of the ability. The name of the ability is what could go wrong. It's just weird this one's in quotes and the other one wasn't. When you play a card from your hand, deal 1. When you play a card from your hand, deal yourself 1 face-down encounter card. Reduce the resource cost by 3. So I mentioned this in another video with Miss Marvel about how Lockjaw, big old puppy dog. Woo! Lockjaw. I'm bad with names, guys. I really am. Lockjaw costs 4, so this would reduce Lockjaw down to 1, or any other big 4, or it can make things free. The difference is you have to have 1 additional encounter card, which I always call event cards. Same thing. If you hear me say event card later in the video, it's an encounter card. If you hear me say encounter card, it's not an event card. It's really an encounter card. I digress, but that's what it does. So you do have to have that extra card that could come in and bite you in the end, right? So his ally in his deck is Nova Prime. So of course you get regular Nova in the protection deck. 2 thwart, 3 attack. You play Nova Prime, defeat a non-elite minion. So after you play, okay, that's nice. So as soon as you put him into play, you get to defeat a minion. He's 5 though. Look at that. Yeah, okay. So you definitely have to use his ability to get that one out. Daring Escape for nothing. Deal yourself 1 face down encounter card. ready your hero, and draw 1 card. So you basically get to play twice in a turn. You get the extra card, but again, get another encounter card. Now he does have things that are going to react off of those encounter cards that are going to make it useful to have more encounter cards against himself. So gutsy move. So I saw this. This was in the again, I'm reading about the 2017 comics, but there was a Star-Lord comic run where they retconned his origin to some degree. I don't know why they've got to do that. I know they want to make it kind of more in line with the movies, but even then, their retcon wasn't in line with the movies, so it was very confusing. Hero action, thwart, remove 2 threat from the scheme, remove 2 additional for each face-down encounter. So there we go. That is an example of having those encounter cards. Sliding shot, play only if you control your element gun, which you should because you get it at setup. But I do know that there are scenarios and villains that will have you remove upgrades, so you could lose your gun, I guess. Deal 5 damage to an enemy, deal 2 additional damage to the enemy for each face-down encounter card in front of you. Whoop, whoop, there we go. So sliding shots, a couple of those. Bad boy. Bad, real bad one, real bad one. Lo siento. That was hero interrupt. When you would have taken any damage from this villain's attack, discard it, prevent damage, change to alter ego, and draw 2 cards. Wow, that's actually pretty nice. It does cost you 3 to play it, so you actually would be playing a total of 4 cards to draw 2 for your next turn. So here is one of your element guns. So of course you can have 2. It's restricted to 2. Exhaust element gun, spend 1 resource, deal 3 damage to an enemy, and then it gains piercing. And I forget what piercing does. I know overkill goes to the next person. I'm wondering if that gets through toughness maybe. Star-Lord gains aerial. So aerial is a very common trait. When Star-Lord would take any amount of damage exhausted, prevent 1 damage for each face-down encounter card. So again, encounter card multiplier. So another upgrade, each Guardian you gain, you control gets an additional thwart. So since everybody's going to be a Guardian, because you're Star-Lord. Now, of course, that is only when he is in Star-Lord form. So you have to notice that. It's only when he's in this form. If you're in this form, you will not get that extra bonus. So that's something to kind of be aware of when you are doing your actions. So Star-Lord's helmet. If you have a hero form, get plus 1 hand size for each encounter card to a maximum of 3. So again, you get more cards in your hand at the end of your turn if you have more of those encounter cards. So the Star-Lord deck is Leadership. Leadership is a good middle-of-the-road deck. It has a lot of attacking, a lot of thwarting, a lot of allies. So it's very... If you're not sure what to play, I think Leadership is usually the way to go. Now, Audrey seems to like aggression. She likes beating things up. She liked playing Captain Marvel. Not as much Miss Marvel because she was Protection. But Adam Warlock has 1/1, 3 total hit points. That seems kind of weak for Adam Warlock because he's supposed to be like really powerful. After Warlock attacks or thwarts, discard a card at random from your hand. The card's printed resource has one of these things. Okay, alright, so he is kind of like Hulk. Hulk's very similar except you drew a card. This one, you randomly discard a card. Not sure which one's better, to be honest. Beta Ray Bill, big boy, so he costs 5. So again, that -3 comes in handy. 4, 1 thwart, good attack. Response, after he attacks and defeats a minion, you get to remove 2 threat. Yondu, now this is the comic book Yondu. He's got his big fin and the old school outfit. Now again, same thing. When they retcon the story, they did make Yondu more like the movie Yondu instead of this one. It's kind of, I mentioned in Marvel United. He's a bad guy, but they made him a good guy because of the movie. But whatever. He's a cool character, right? 2 thwart, 1 attack, plus it gains range, so he ignores any type of retaliation. He's only got 2 hit points, but the difference is he does not take damage because he is ranged. So that is very unique in him. So that's why the 4 is a 4, right? Because you really don't have a chance of him dying unless you use him to block something. Air Supremacy. Choose up to X enemies where X equals the number of aerial characters you control, and then deal 3 damage. And so there's a bunch of those. Glory, max per round. Each Guardian character gets +2/+2, which should be all of your characters. Should be Guardians. Get ready, ready an ally. It's free too, so that's actually kind of nice. So if you used an ally to block, you can bring him back, block again. Although most allies aren't strong enough to defend against 2 hits, let alone 1, right? Because most of the attackers are 3, 4, unless it's a minion of the villain. But this would allow you to attack twice, thwart twice, what have you. So you get a couple of those. Another 0 support target practice. When an ally with a weapon upgrade makes an attack, discard target practice. That ally gets +2 attack. Weapon upgrade. I don't know. Have I seen any weapon upgrades that go onto my allies yet? I don't know. Maybe. Power of Leadership, max 2 per deck. Double the number of resources this card generates. Okay, so this is the same as every other deck. You always get a power of. And just basically, it is a wild, or it counts as 2 of that aspect type. Laser Blaster, tech upgrade attached to... Okay, so here we go. Here are our weapon upgrades. So you can attach this to any of your allies. Now, okay, so you have to attach it when they're a Guardian, which would only be when you are Star-Lord. But it doesn't say to remove it if they are no longer a Guardian, because that would kind of be bad. You'd be attaching and unattaching every time you flipped your card over. There we go. We got Cosmo. Some people were kind of disappointed they hadn't seen Cosmo yet. He's only 2, 1 and 1. So you can be out there for 2 times. Interrupt. Cosmo attacks or thwarts. Name a card type, then discard the top card of the deck. If it is named, Cosmo does not take the extra damage. The damage under thwart and attack for this use. Oh, okay. You're trying to be a psychic, because Cosmo's a psychic, to see what card's coming up. Okay. CITT. Exhaust CITT and spend 2 resources of any type for a Guardian. So this was in that Star-Lord comic arc that I was talking about. Nowhere. Play the Guardian. Play only if your identity has Guardian trait. Increase your ally limit by 1. So that's pretty nice. After a player plays a Guardian ally, exhaust Nowhere. That player draws 1 card. Okay, so if you've got 2, 3 guys out already, this will allow you to do 4. You play that 4th, and then you're going to be able to draw another card. Pulse Grenade. Discard Pulse Grenade and choose an enemy. Discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Deal 1 damage to the chosen energy for each boost icon. A bunch of those. All right, and then here we go. So here is his obligation, of course. Star-Lord is a prince, although he was a king in the comic last I checked, because King Jason got kicked out. The exact amounts of what happened exactly, I forget, because it's been a while since I read that particular part of it. But yeah, his dad got disposed. So Peter Quill took over as king for a while, and then the planet kind of went to pot because people started attacking it. Big long story. Go read the comic. But yeah, so there is his obligation to slow him down. For his side scheme on his nemesis, in your tiny head, the line between a criminal enterprise and an empire is thin. In reality, nobody cares. All they care about is who holds the gun. Jason. Also a coding language. Hinder. 2 times the number of people when revealed. Place 2 times the number of people threat here. So that's kind of... That's weird. You're already placing 2. So it's, I guess, 6 total. It's just weird that they have it worded that way. Whatever. And then you do take an extra event card. Encounter card. Encounter card. Encounter. I got to remember that. Instead of saying event, I've said event so many times while playing the game that that's stuck in my head. So his minion is Mr. Knife. Treachery, his dad. Discard a card. Take random damage. A bunch of those. And that is it. So I wasn't sure. I thought these did have... I mentioned in the Miss Marvel deck, in Phase 1, they did add extra cards to put into other decks. In Phase 2, they didn't have it. Looks like in Phase 3, they're putting them back in. Well, we'll find out when we open Gamora. So here are the extra cards that are in this deck. So usually they're the things that he is not. Since he is leadership, of course, it's going to be the other 3 aspects. So you have Dive Bomb. Play only if your identity has Ariel. So this is real good, and it's got Miss Marvel. Perfect for Miss Marvel. Or Tony Stark. They deal a lot with Ariel. Not the Little Mermaid Ariel, but, in the air Ariel. Star-Lord, of course, has Ariel as well. So you deal 7 damage to an enemy, deal 1 damage to each other enemy. So that's not bad. So you'd have to make sure you're in aerial form before you play that card. Agile Flight for Justice. Play only if your identity has aerial. So again, aerial. And I think a lot of times these cards are designed around putting into the deck that it comes with, plus the other Justice or plus the other aggression cards. But again, this could be thrown in if you want to do a Justice Iron Man deck. Don't know if that's a very good deck. You guys have to let me know in the comments. But yes, so this one, remove a total of 5 threats. So that's what Justice does usually, is remove threat. And then same thing, aerial. Ready your hero, remove 2 threat from the main scheme. So this gives you a double benefit. You get to ready plus remove the 2 threat. And then the basic cards, doesn't have to do anything with aerial this time. Uses 3 mental counters, exhaust, enhance awareness, remove 1 mental counter from it. So you generate resources. So again, very similar to what was in this Marvel's deck in Spider-Man's web shooters. So there we go, guys. That is the deck for start. That was, hang on, guys. Don't mess that up. That is the deck for Star-Lord. If you want to see any more of these openings or watch the gameplay for these, make sure that you hit that bell notification and subscribe button to know when we go live or when I post additional pack openings. We call them unboxing still, but it's really a pack. And it's not even a pack, so I'm thinking of like Pokemon pack openings. Either way, if you want to watch me go through these, talk about the cards in my novice manner, because I really don't know as much about this game as some people. Oh well. Go ahead and, like I said, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see a specific hero opened, we have them all. It's just going to take us a while to get through them all. Leave a comment down below with which pack you want to see us open. Until next time, guys. Peace.